He ain't all that shy. He's made a right comfortable bed for all those bullets. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan. Anklegators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Roathus Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts who don't know up from down, still lurking about. Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon. Even the brushers learned to fear this place. They used to think that anklegators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Anklegators love shiny things. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course. Know what smells worse than an anklegator's breath? The stinkweed. Ain't time for pecker hunting, but the kid can't resist. Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. Bad idea to walk in gator grass. Those pincushions have been living off the Anklegator scraps. Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. He holds his ground. Seems the Queen's running out of options. The closer you get to an Anklegator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. They say you can't hurt an Anklegator unless it's raining, and it ain't raining. Can't get hasty in a place like this. Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Anklegators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an Anklegator lair? You use a kid as bait. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. The shard's sitting in plain view. They say if you run across an Anklegator, you better keep running. starting to get annoyed. Made her mad. Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers. Kids done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. Finders keepers. That gator's a crazy gal, but so is the gal who promised to look after her. Hearty punch is so zesty, it'll let you carry on through the worst of times. The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds. To prepare for the wilds, Ceylonia's brushers practice at Camp Dauncey. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike. It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job. Sometimes the course was brutal. Health tonics were off limits at Camp Dauncey. They said they made you weak. said he couldn't use any fancy footwork, just your brains and your pike. Just getting through the course in one piece was an accomplishment. You can see why the brushers prize those pikes of theirs. Know how Caelandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Punta Lemaign. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Punta Lemaign seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Punta Lemaign. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand rails all grown over with things the calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Kid don't want to miss this train. Kid lets a few of them slip by. Lunkheads settled in like they own Makes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers coughing fungus everywhere. Of course, the grand rails seem much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Celandian War. Right here that Zulf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swampweed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While shooting a genuine registered army carbine? While choking on swampweed? While peggers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. Swampweed out of those boots for days. Ceylondia lost many good men on the rail. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower or pincushion like it. At first, he thinks it's Zulf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone, but something else is there. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wondered just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him. Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zolf.